John Hook's Newsmaker starts now.
Thanks for joining us on Newsmaker. Democrats nationwide and here in Arizona are trying to find a message and a cohesive path forward following Donald Trump's win a year ago. All three branches of government now in the hands of Republicans. But there are signs that Democrats are finding their footing on issues of affordability and health care. So what's the picture locally? We wanted to spend a little time with the executive director for the Maricopa County Democratic Party. Eric Lims joins us now. You've been on the job a year. It's been a big year. And I think after Donald Trump was elected, you were trying to find your footing, the Democrat Party. Do you think you found it?
Well, we're still working. We're very pleased, of course, with the results that we've seen around the country, the past 5 or so weeks. Not just with the outcome of the results, but the turnout was high in those elections as well. So we feel good about the trajectory, but still a lot of work needs to be done.
So, Eric, what did we read with those midterm elections? You had in Virginia Spanberger, who's kind of more of a centrist, Mikey Sherrill, New Jersey governor-elect, kind of more of a, left, but not far left. But then you've got Zoran Mondami, who's far left. How do you read the tea leaves on that, or what voters want, or is it very local?
Of course, I think you always have to look to some local element in those particular elections. But I think really for us, it's great because we certainly think of ourselves, the Maricopa Democratic Party, as a big tent party. We have people kind of across the ideological spectrum who believe in the work we're doing and kind of want to work with us and join us in the endeavor. And actually, as a testament to that, we've seen a huge growth in a lot of our activists, our precinct committee captains over the past year in terms of our membership roles there. So yes, you have a wide array of ideologies who've won elections over the past several weeks, but we're a big tent party here in Maricopa County, so we look forward to pushing forward with that big tent.
Let's talk about registration numbers, and we've only got data going to October, so we don't know what's happened since. But as of October in Maricopa County, 2,677,000 active voters. Republicans, 900,041. Democrats, 700,045. Other, which we believe are independents largely, 941,000. So that's right there, same number as Republicans and, more than Democrats. So the Republican advantage right now in Maricopa County is about 200,000 voters. How much of a worry is that for you?
The good news there is, though, that is a gap that we're very mindful of. We've made some great strides this year, frankly, in trying to rectify that. That's something that we've been working very hard at. And again, I think given the fact that we are kind of more of a big tent party, I think it's kind of worked to our advantage in helping improve those numbers. Now, I'll say that, now that we're kind of a year into the second Trump administration, my sense is that maybe the tide may be turning a little bit kind of in the Democrats' favor, we think, which will maybe be a wind at our back in terms of helping us with improving those numbers. But again, we're going to continue to keep doing the work that we need to do to keep us pushing in the right direction and get us in the right course and improve those registration numbers.
Eric Lims, chairman of the Maricopa County Democratic Party. Eric, when there was kind of, and I don't know where it all went, but there was some talk about an autopsy following the Trump win last year. Were you part of that discussion on where the party should move following Trump's election?
What we did here in Maricopa County, on the Democratic side, is we actually invested a lot of time and energy and effort into reaching out to voters to see what it is we missed, what it is that we got wrong. This was invaluable for us. We did these sessions all over the valley. Certainly we're going to use what we learned from those sessions to inform how we do better going forward.
A lot of the Democrat messaging this year has been anti-Trump, and I'm thinking ahead to next year in the midterms. By the time the midterms roll around, Donald Trump is essentially a lame duck. He can't seek re-election. despite anything he said. I don't think that would come to pass. So can you run on that messaging, considering that Trump is going to be exiting the political scene, at least as a president and as a candidate?
Well, one of the lessons that we've learned from both speaking with people on the ground here in Maricopa County, across the valley, as well as the results of the elections early last month, affordability and healthcare are really the messages that are resonating with voters. And so I'd say that that's kind of where we're going to place our focus and our efforts, and that's what we're going to continue to drive over the next 11 months of the campaign year.
The Democrat Party historically in Arizona, at least in the last probably 10 years, what I've noticed is you've been very good at coalescing around a candidate. You think of Katie Hobbs when she ran for governor. She had a clear field, no primary. Chris Mays, the same thing. Some of the statewide candidates, they had no opposition in a primary, so you could really keep your powder dry and use all your resources in the general election. This time around, though, there are a bunch of House Democrats facing primary challenges, about a dozen U.S. House Democrats facing primary challenges as progressives seek to kind of transform the party. Do you expect we're going to see that here? I know we will in David Schweikert's district. That's going to be a crowded field. But do you see it elsewhere as well?
Certainly. Look, I think, first of all, I think it's really a lot of fun to see so many people with that yearning to serve their community and their country. I totally understand there are a lot of Democrats who want to run. But for us, the key is this. We feel that we have the best message that resonates, given our big tent, given that we are going to focus on kitchen table issues. We're confident that no matter how many Democrats choose to run in any kind of given primary, that whoever emerges from those battles will be well positioned over whomever the Republicans may nominate.
And do you are you from the school, Eric, where you think steel sharpens steel, that it's better that there's contested primaries, even if it makes it messy?
I think it's race dependent. I'll say, but I'll say this. I love people who are in game shape come game day. And,
you must have played ball.
I did. And to the extent that they're in a game shape, if the primary helps with that, then all the better.
Okay. On that, you talked about the two issues that are resonating right now for Democrats: healthcare and affordability. I'm trying to figure out how that happened. First of all, going back, how Democrats kind of lost that working class and Donald Trump gained it. And the Republican Party has somehow become the party of the working man and woman. At least that's how they frame it. Do you quarrel with that? And do you think that that's still fertile ground for the Democrats?
Well, some lessons are learned the hard way. But what I would say is, in light of kind of, going back to the elections results from across the country, they went back to the basics. And I just kind of, as I talked to candidates, within my party around the valley, and I just came from an event here before I started chatting with you today and got a chance to see some of those candidates. Look, they're talking about the kinds of issues that really matter to people, as you mentioned, affordability and healthcare. So I think that we've used the year these past several months to kind of regain our footing and regain our focus, and be true to our roots, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Eric, take me inside the game, since you're a former ball player. Tell me how you guys recruit candidates. Do they just organically surface, or do you go out and talk to people, individuals that you think would make a good candidate, and you say, look, I think you should consider running? How does that work?
So it's actually a combination of those things. We often, sometimes there are certain people who've cobbled together a record of civic engagement within their communities who we recognized over the years, and we'll approach them and ask them, whether they'd be interested in running for this or that.
How many candidates are we up to now in District 1? This is David Schweikert's district. He's retiring. That's going to be a big primary on the Republican side and the Democrat side. It's wide open.
The Democratic side, it's at least a dozen. I'm not going to pretend to really keep up with all that goes on the Republican side.
You know as well as I do, when that happens, you can get some odd results. People who are well-known, sometimes they're splitting votes with other well-knowns, and somebody slips in the back door.
I think that what we'll see there is several of the candidates actually turn out to, as it turns out, on our side are experienced candidates. So I think that, if you look at, of the dozen or so, I forget whether there's 12 or 13 today, but certainly there's a number of them who are experienced candidates who tend to, I think that experience helps them, let's say. Just understanding what pitfalls to avoid and what have you in a campaign environment. So I feel comfortable, at least with that race in particular, that whoever we emerge with out of the primary, they're going to do very well.
When you look at the polling in Arizona on various issues, the conclusion that a lot of the political scientists come to is that Arizona is still a right of center electorate. Do you share that view, or do you think that's not true?
Well, I think one thing that we've established ourselves as over the past certainly decade or so, we are a true battleground state. And I love that, right? Because that means people from sea to shining sea are paying attention to us. As for Maricopa County in particular, many viewers might not be aware of this, but we're also the largest battleground county in the United States.
That's right.
If you look at all of the large counties, LA, New York, Cook County, Chicago, Harris County, which is Houston, those are all deep blue. We are a purple county. We're also larger than 23 states. So goes Maricopa, so goes Arizona.
Yeah.
So we're a large
Very
county.
true.
That's why we're very important, just given our size. But I think, we've given the victory to some presidential candidates. The Democrats have lost some presidential races, it's gone both sides in recent elections, which I think makes us a true battleground county.
Biggest challenge you face going into next year, is it raising money?
Actually, I think that, the wind is at our back in a variety of ways. I think that we're going to do well. We're going to improve voter registration. We're going to grow our volunteer base. And I think that, once people kind of get honed in on, the task before them, which is girding themselves for a very important election and vote, the money is going to come in as well.
Eric Lems, Director for the Maricopa County Democrat Party. I'd love to have you back as we get closer to midterms, and maybe before, we'll see. But I appreciate it, Eric. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Great talking to you.
Good to see you.